into a very famous, busy family. We lived in Chicago and we lived in Sarasota, Florida. My parents were very involved in just about everything, the arts, the opera, paintings. We went from church to church while I was growing up, but we settled at a local Episcopal church, and I went to a Christian private school, and I got confirmed at 13. I learned very bad habits from lack of supervision and no moral compass. Even though we went to church every Sunday, I usually went hungover. I went away to New Orleans to attend Tulane University. I loved the nightlife. I just loved the vibrant atmosphere of New Orleans. I loved to drink there. It was fun. It smelled bad, but I didn't care. When I drank, I didn't have to feel. So it's the only way I knew how to cope. I met and married my first husband there, and we had 2 children. My son was born with cytomegalic virus, which caused brain damage, and he was eventually diagnosed with an autistic disorder. I blame myself. My husband was not accepting of my son's condition, and it didn't help our already strained marriage. When I had routine surgery in 2000, my husband decided he didn't love me anymore and moved out. I was devastated. I spent a lot of time in bars because I felt comfortable there. I should have spent time with my children. They spent a lot of time with their grandparents and my ex-husband, but I felt like I had the right to go out because I was a wronged woman. I still went to the church every weekend, and I even taught children's Sunday school, but I was hungover. Probably wasn't a very good influence. I began dating again in 2002 and continued the same lifestyle. The man I was dating drank a lot too. I didn't see anything wrong with it. All my friends drank. It's where I felt comfortable. He went to a Baptist church and I started going. I felt comfortable there. I learned about a new God that loved me for me, and he wasn't the judgmental God that I had learned about before. My life changed in 2003. One morning I woke up and couldn't look at myself in the mirror. The thing was, I didn't want to get out of that lifestyle. So as soon as I asked for help and truly meant it, and I didn't do it for my kids, and I didn't do it for my job or, my boyfriend or whatever. I did it for me. And it didn't matter how my friends were going to take it. It didn't matter how anybody was going to take it. I knew I had to do this for me because that's what God had asked me to do. I knew that God didn't want me to keep destroying my body and living this lifestyle. I realized that this God I had just learned about loved me. He cared about me. He was my Jesus. I then went to the local pastor at that church and told him about my experience. I brought the kids to the church and they watched me get baptized. I didn't think they noticed a difference in me, but then they got baptized together several months later. It was awesome. I ended up marrying the man that I was dating in May of 2005. In August of 2005, our lives changed forever when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans. We evacuated the day before, and we ended up in Sulphur Springs because that was the closest place we could stay that took animals. I'd never even heard of this town. When we first arrived, we had no cell phone service. We were watching the TV, and it was so shocking, we didn't know what to do. We contacted a local Baptist church, and within an hour, they brought food to everyone in every hotel that was from New Orleans. They took us to the church for dinner. They found out what we needed, like prescriptions or school information or food and clothes, and they even took my daughter shopping for CDs. Then I got a call that my father, still living in Florida, was dying. They had been trying to reach me for a couple days, but because we didn't have any cell phone service, they couldn't get me. I didn't know what to do. So as a family, we decided to get an apartment so I could go see my dad to see him before he passed away. He did pass away the day before I got there. While I was in Florida with my family, the church moved us into our house. They got us furniture. They totally took care of us. We decided to stay in Sulphur Springs. We were able to remove all the contents from our house in New Orleans, but we didn't have jobs or schools. So fast forward, we're still here. We love Sulphur Springs. Unfortunately, my husband never did stop drinking. He deteriorated and was incarcerated. I was unable to save my marriage. At this point in my life, I did not feel that God had brought me through all of this in my life to live in a horrible relationship. That was just a fire I had to walk through. And it wasn't horribly bad, but it gave me more strength. Today, my life is very full. I've met so many wonderful people here that are very welcoming and supporting. Jesus is my everything. Without finding Jesus in 2003, I don't know where I'd be now. Hold it all together. Everyone needs you strong. But life hits you out of nowhere and barely leaves you holding on. But if your eyes are on the storm, you'll wonder if I love you still. But if your eyes are on the cross, you'll know I always have and I always will. Not a tear is wasted. In time you'll understand. I'm painting beauty with the ashes. My life is in your hands. Lift your hands, lift your eyes. In the storm is where you'll find me. I'm Kate Hutley. This is my stone. It's a reminder of God in my life and that I can't do anything without standing on His word and holding on to Him.